It's deranged, royal fae. They'll act crazy all day. They'll apologize for the fail, but still scream and wail. It's deranged, royal fae. Yeah!
So now half my head won't disappear. I did Halloweeny colors. You can't see the purple very well, but it's there. It's in there somewhere. I'm going to be making perler beads as I talk about problems, because why not? Therapeutic to make these. Look how cute this guy is. It's ghastly. It's a very derpy ghastly. Look at it. Look at it. This purple part here is glow in the dark, so that's fun. Yeah, I'm going to be recreating one. I'll probably, if I can remember, put the picture of the first attempt, and now I'll be able to make her better because I actually now have brown and won't have to use black for her skin. That wasn't problematic to do or anything. As I make a relaxing perler bead, you get to hear me rant and ramble and rave. I had to say that again because my alarm went off and turned off my camera. As you all know, with my family again, yay. I think I mentioned, okay, I didn't say it in the video, but it was like in text or in the description or both, that I got hired. I got a job, I got a permit. I'm now officially working at Walmart, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. It's better than nothing. I work overnight, which actually does kind of work very well for me since most of the people I hang out with are in the UK. So I'm pretending I'm on UK time, that instead of working 7 p.m. to 10 a.m., 10 p.m. to 7 a.m., I'm working 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. So that's nice to imagine instead. But yeah, it works out in the sense that I already am around and up and at my odd hours. Pardon me, at odd hours anyways, so I'm not complaining really. Like I said, could be worse. Did I say it could be worse? Well, it could be worse. Be laying down face up in a hearse. I haven't faced any problems with coworkers yet, but I could already tell that, there's a pecking order. There's what you normally get with most retail, especially big scale retail, where, there's going to be favoritism, there's going to be conflict, etc. So that's just kind of what to be expected. And yeah, so it is what it is. My camera angle might be a bit different now because I almost knocked everything over, brought everything down. So yeah, so just workplace politics, of course, are going to be a thing, as to be expected. So it is what it is. Just gotta make it through, right? They actually don't have a very strict dress code. As long as you're not wearing offensive things, you can wear on the dress code. It actually says skirts and dresses are allowed, so long as they're not, too short and stuff. So I went. Basically, my first day I dressed super mask, binded and everything. Still got gendered feminine. So I was like, they're gonna gender me feminine no matter what, so fuck it. And I went in what I'm wearing, the skirt and my tights and all that jazz. Just kind of went through it. But yeah, so one coworker warned me that they're really kind of want pants, but none of the managers or leads or anything said anything. So it's like, fuck it, I'm gonna keep wearing what I'm wearing until further notice. For some reason, on my second full night, they put me alone instead of like letting me keep training, and put me in like one of the most frustrating aisles, according to my coworkers. So that was fun. I survived, so there's at least that. I ended up needing help and things like that by the end of the night. Or at one point in the middle, and then another point at the end. Of course, shit has to happen with my family. My sister, Bunny, was never the only problem here. Last night, as of when I'm recording this, so Mondays are the nights I cook now that my schedule's changed. They might change me over now to Tuesdays, but for now, I've had it changed to Mondays. So we all have our assigned cooking days, and then we have 2 days that are like fend for yourself / leftovers. And so I planned everything out, and I even went and bought my own ingredients, you know. I didn't ask the family to buy them for me. And my mom and my sister got them being like, I mean, like, do you want to switch days? Do you need any help? And I'm like, that's okay, I've got it. Like, all day, and yes, I think the day before and week or whatever. I don't, maybe not that long, but they were for like the day or two, like offering help or offering to switch my day and whatnot. And I was like, it's fine, it's cool, we're cool bros, it's all good. And I come home at like 7 in the morning or so, and I tend to try sleeping. I schedule my bedtime to be like 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. So usually around those times, I'm gonna be asleep. I'm gonna be a sleep bitch. And my dad texted me like nearly at 3 p.m. about how if I need, like, I can pull up the exact text if I can find it fast. Gotta go fast. But my dad ends up like texting me around the time I'd be asleep. It's Labor Day weekend. It's Labor Day. So it's like my dad's first day off in probably forever, because he works himself to death. So it's like, dude, just relax. Just take one and relax. And he texted me, hey, about dinner, we're happy to pitch in and help out. I assume that means something like, oh, we'll chop vegetables, we'll do the side dishes, not make a whole other fucking main course, or make the main course. I don't respond. I'm asleep, or I'm half asleep when I actually see it, and then go back to sleep. And then when I wake up, like fully wake up, out of sight, out of mind. But it's also like one of those things where it's like closer to the time, like, hey, can you chop veggies or whatnot? But I was going to say no anyways. All my vegetables were canned. And it was a very easy, simple thing to make. Like, I've never made it before, but it was pretty easy to get the hang of. No problem. So fast forward, I wake up, kind of relax, go down, start making food. As I'm down there, I noticed something odd. I noticed there's like steaks out, and they're all seasoned, and I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe, just maybe, because my dad sometimes does that thing with the overnight steaks, seasoned kind of thing, or, you know, aged, things like that. I need to close my window. Let me make sure my hair is away from the microphone. I'm so sorry if my hair's been touching the microphone. This is yet another timer went off. Yeah, so I come down, I notice some seasoned steaks. I think, okay, this better just be a situation where he's just prepping it for the next day. I start cooking. Like I said, it's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Pretty fast thing to do, because it's just like just brown the ground beef. It's like a hamburger stew. I mean, wasn't like a hamburger. It was a hamburger stew. And it takes 20 minutes for the actual like stew to simmer. So I at one point message, hey, 15 minutes until dinner's done. And I decide while those 15 minutes are happening, I'll chill at the pool for a little bit. My mom's there, my dad's there. My mom, I find out after I start hanging out there, is obnoxiously drunk. So I'm just like, not really wanting to deal with that, but I'll hang out for a little bit, And not only did I send it to the group chat, that text, I also say it to my folks in person, and I go out to hang out. So, my dad's had plenty of chance to interact with me here. This will come into play in a moment. So, I'm out there with them, and I went out there for 10 minutes, probably not even the full 15 minutes, probably just 10 is more realistic to say. And I go in to finish things up. I also have dessert in the oven as well. And at one point, my dad comes in and grabs the steaks and leaves. And then I finally finish dinner. I text the group, hey, dinner's 100% done. And at one point, my dad comes in and makes a snide comment about when people text you, you're supposed to respond. I decide to be a smidge confrontational, and I follow after him, and I'm like, I thought you meant something help chop vegetables, or a side dish. And he's like, you should have responded. And I'm like, yeah, maybe I should have responded, but it was a vague as fuck text anyways. It didn't feel like one that needed to be responded to unless it was affirmation of, yeah, totally do it. He should have communicated better, where I was out there with him for 10 minutes, with him knowing that dinner was on its way, with him seeing me. He should have, if I didn't respond, we're in the same fucking house, and he, in the past, has ranted and raved about how much he hates texts. So he could have come to my room, knocked on the door, and be like, hey, did you see my text? Do you need help? Or, I don't know, even if not coming up to my door and asking, could have been hey, I'm gonna make steak, or I was thinking of making steak, So in this situation, I'm not going to take any blame. Normally, I'm a fucking pushover. Normally, I let people make me feel bad for these kind of things. No, I'm not at fault here. I actually, fight back. Not normal for me, right? But I wasn't having it. Yeah, so I'm I go after him saying that, and he's like, you should have responded. And I was like, I was asleep. I say to him, I work 10 to 7. And he's like, well, he's about to have a pissing contest, because now he thinks I'm just trying to say, oh, I'm working myself to death. Oh, I'm working myself to sleep. Because he's like, oh, I work. And I was like, no. I don't mean this for that. I mean because my sleep schedule is going to be different. I have to sleep in the daytime. Because I can't sleep at night. So I kind of cut him off there. I'm like, no, that's not what I mean here. He's just being pissy. And I go in, and I just frustratedly, I was so tempted at some point to just throw it away. But I was like, no, let's not be that childish. And I said, just kind of pack it up and put it in. I text the family well, Dad also made steaks, so you can have that instead. And but before this point, actually, okay, that's right. So when he comes in and makes that passive-aggressive comment, I had realized my folks are going to come in and eat anytime soon, and that I know one sister's working closing shift, and then the other sister, I guess her and her family were out doing something, I don't know, and Art still didn't like come home that night. So I realized, okay, I'm just gonna eat dinner on my own. And so when I was almost done eating my food is when my dad came in and made his passive aggressive comment. It was really like right afterwards, he's just yelling and ranting. I can't tell if he was yelling at my mom or to my mom. And like I said, my mom's also like obnoxiously drunk at this point. Like she just gets to this place where she's just, it's like talking to a toddler with a wide vocabulary, and it's just not fun to be around. I was just so frustrated because I was just like, I was so tempted to go down there and be like, do you want to calmly have a productive conversation? Or do you just want to keep being angry with the world, adding to nothing but your chances of having a heart attack? He's got high cholesterol. It's pretty bad. And he works himself to death. I appreciate what he does, but he can be such an asshole sometimes. He is the one that made assumptions in the first place that I even needed help. And he's the one who assumed that when I did not respond at 3 p.m., I'd understand if it was like 6, 5, and I still haven't responded to think, oh, okay, they're not going to get up in time to cook food. But assumed that when I didn't respond to his text, that not only should he start dinner, he should make a whole goddamn main course when it wasn't his dinner day. Like, hello? Huh? What? So, that's on him. That is his problem. That is an issue he created for himself. And I refuse to feel differently about it. I was a bit in tears in private. Never gonna let him see me like that. But I was just frustrated. It's like, I can't wait to leave here. I'm grateful. I really am grateful. But it's just, it was a situation that didn't need to happen, you know? And it was a frustrating one where, and I felt bad that I kind of just left my mom out there with my dad, just angrily, drunkenly ranting at him. Because that's the thing, I think he was probably a bit drunk too. Not that it's an excuse. And I really don't miss this environment. I don't miss the fighting, the hot-headedness, the drinking. And I can't wait to get out of it again. It's like, it's starting to make sense why I don't like to be around alcohol. Why I jumped at the first chance to get out of here. I love my family. I really do. But that doesn't mean you should put up with their bullshit when it's unwarranted. And it's unfair. It was like, Bunny was never the only problem. Where do you think she got it from? That's life. The only thing you can do is keep moving forward. And that's what I plan to do. Just keep on keeping. Life goes on. So something I wanted to add real quick. Recording this right before I go off to work. And almost immediately after this happened with my family, I left a voice memo for Cappy about what happened. And, that's when I was like kind of on the verge of tears and stuff, and just upset and just like, I hate being here. And when Cappy woke up and saw it, because time zone differences, was immediately like upset for me, was just like cursing out my folks via private message, and was just like talking about calling them alcoholics and stuff like that. That same day, after him waking up to it, so the day after this happened. He at one point showed that he was really anxious because he ended up doing something where his thumb ended up bleeding because he was doing a very anxious thing. And we had made date plans, and at one point he let slip that he has been drinking prior to this. And I'm just like, oh, and he's like, oh fuck, I picked the wrong day to do this. But my main issue is also because I know he was anxious, and on top of, like, there's a number of reasons why I was not happy about this. It's just like, 1, never drink alone. 2, never drink when you're upset. And then 3, if you're the only one drinking, it's a little weird, it's a little awkward. It's one thing if you're socially drinking, and so, like, you're not the only one around drinking, or, like, you guys have mutually agreed that this was okay or normal. But if you're the only one drinking, it does make it weird. And Cappy knows, like, that I was very uncomfortable, very upset when I found out that he had been drinking during a lot of our video voice chats, so he could feel comfortable to do so, because he was newer to these kind of things. And I was like, I don't feel comfortable with that. I feel kind of really shitty about that, especially since we had, done lewd stuff. And I'm like, I didn't consent to doing that with someone who was not really fully sober. But yeah, so there's a number of reasons. And given even without that one little incident happening, he knows that I worry, that I feel uncomfortable, etc. And he still did it anyways. Am I thinking, okay, maybe he'll, not be that bad, maybe he'll be sober, ish, maybe he'll stop drinking. And I asked him, like, should I drink too? Because it makes it really weird if he's the only one drinking. Fast forward, time for the actual date, and even if he hadn't told me, I would have been able to tell that he was drunk, kind of thing, because he's doing his little talking in circles thing. Something I hate about being around drunk people while sober is just, like, I can't have a conversation, and my problems, I accidentally try engaging with people in good faith. And it's just like, they'll ask questions, but then they'll drive you fucking crazy. I fucking can't. It's just, I keep walking away embarrassed and blood boiling for even trying to have a conversation with my mom or sister when they've had some drinks. I can't. And he was in that state where it was just like going to be, like bumbling silliness that I just didn't want to babysit another fucking adult, I just wanted to hang out with the man I love and who he really is sober. And it was upsetting, because I even asked, like, are you still drinking? And he's like, yeah. Do you want me to stop? And I was just like, I don't want to get in the way of him having fun. But what the fuck does he think I feel? Like, he even pointed out himself that it was a stupid idea for him to be drinking, knowing what I had just been through. And it's just like, and I ended up crying a little on camera. Like, it wasn't super obvious, like, that tears had come down, because I was just acting like everything's fine. And he sobered out throughout the chat or whatever, but it was just like, use your fucking brain. There's so many reasons why it was wrong that he was even drinking outside of what happened to me. Is like, alone. He was drinking alone. Because, like, that was one of my things, was I was so tempted to just be like, okay, never mind. Like, let's just game of... And it was like, instead of saying, let's not do it at all, let's game of friends, because shouldn't be drinking alone. Especially since I know he was down, and I didn't want him to feel worse. So I was like, okay, if we game of friends, that'd be at least he's not alone. But then if I do that, then he'll feel bad all the same, and so I just tough it out, I guess. But yeah, so it's like, shouldn't be drinking alone, shouldn't be drinking when upset, and just, it feels inappropriate. I feel like I need to have that conversation with him. It feels inappropriate when he drinks, and I'm not, or at least when he drinks without mutually consenting to me being okay with hanging out with someone who's fucking drunk. Like, okay, I say drunk, he's not that bad when he usually has, like, a few drinks, but, like, this time it was like, no, this is going to be a headache to have a conversation with someone like this kind of thing. It just, I've already tried having a talk with him about, like, my concerns about him just drinking when he's upset, and he just kind of blew it off, like, I don't understand why this upsets you so much. It's just like, I mean, on top of my family trauma, because I actually made a good list when I was talking to my best friend about it, and eventually to him, where it's just like, I actually have a lot of trauma. Like, actually, I could say trauma without feeling like I don't get, like, I can feel trauma for sure. When you almost see someone die, when violence has almost happened or has happened, I feel like that counts for trauma. But yeah, so on top of having trauma linked to it, I also know the psychological effects. I also know the fact that you shouldn't, and what's appropriate and inappropriate. Like, it's just kind of common sense in some of those cases, or just like think about it in other cases. So yeah, so that was frustrating, upsetting, and yeah, he apologized, but it's just like, I feel like he doesn't still get it, and he would do it again. And maybe that's just not me having enough faith in him. I don't know. I love him, but I can't keep babysitting adults. I fucking hate alcohol so much. And I hate that we're in a society that normals it, and I hate that my family's normals. Like, I am not letting them know I drink casually with Cappy sometimes. Like, that's just, no, they don't get access to that information, because if they'll use it against me, and like, okay, then we'll have a drink with us then. I'm like, fuck, no. Fuck your alcohol. Set it on fire and cause an explosion. So yeah, just thought I would add that. Also, I think I'm figuring out, it might be that one microphone's worse than the other, because my video quality, or audio quality, for this chat parts and Screaming Saturday was quite nice, but not for this Mental Monday. I'm not sure which one I'm using right now. I'll figure it out, and I'll pick little marks on them or something. Alright. Thank you. So there's that. I've been contemplating doing a days for my tarot. My streaming days are going to change to Friday. I already set it on the channel and events and stuff on my Twitch and all that jazz. I was planning on recording the last Friday by the time this is uploaded, but they ended up scheduling me to come in the daytime that day. They didn't also realize that I would finish my training in one night, so the person who was supposed to like check on that went home before we finished. And so when she came back, she was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm just gonna put you to do day shift stuff since there's nothing else for you to do and want to get me paid. So yeah, I did that instead. Which, you know, I appreciated the money. I just gotta get paid. Gotta work and get paid. But yeah, I've been thinking of doing a video for my tarot, or I was thinking of doing like a Witchy Wednesday. And then Freak Show Fridays, because Freak Show Friday works as well for Freak Show Sundays. So it'll keep that title of Freak Show in there. I feel like I had like a million things to say, but can't recall to say them. I've made some alternative friends at work, but one of them's even non-binary. I say friends plural, but I've only really talked to one, and that's the cis guy. He could tell that I had those non-binary vibes. He's like, he saw me and he's like, I feel like they are, but I'm not going to assume. I guess them putting me on my own was kind of like, was flattering, because it meant that they thought that either they thought I could do it or they set me up to fail. And I wouldn't say I failed. I did as well as I could with being brand new, because most of my time was just spent trying to figure out where everything was, and so that wasted more time than it needed to. I'm new, so I can't be, even if I have experience in this line of work, I can't be expected to just know everything. And like, some of the language is different than what I'm used to, and I'm like, you know, a bit rusty, out of practice. That's the word I was looking for. maybe slightly unrealistic expectations. I have it so each paycheck, $500 of it goes to my savings. So that helps with making sure I am saving and not recklessly spending money so that I can move out more easily and have a safety net for if issues happened. Hopefully my best friend's also going to be working on it on his end too. I think we both want to get out of our houses or family places equally, more or less. He's the one that's Indian in trans, so like his family isn't super bigoted, but it's still like a really stressful environment, and they weren't the best in response to his transition stuff. He'd like to get out of there as much as I'd like to get out of here. Trying my best to keep on a schedule, and but it's still like only my first week, so of course it's not going to be perfect. It takes some adjustment. So one of my first payments I'm going to make, so I'm going to pay back Hummingbird as soon as I can. I might wait for that after the second big paycheck. Still salty, right? No, actually it's because there's no deadline on that, and I have something. I was originally going to do that one first, but now I feel like doing the one for Cappy. Basically what I'm going to do, because I know he refuses to take money from me, so I'm going to give him a choice, is I'm going to give him a gift card from the airline so he can, because he doesn't want me buying his tickets, but also this way it gives him the ability to choose the best times and whatnot for him, instead of if like I were to do it, it just kind of makes it easier for him to do it for himself. But so I'm gonna buy him a gift card to the airline. I prefer British Airways, kind of ran me in circles, so I'm gonna give him American Airlines, because the chances are he'd be taking flights of both. What my experience has been thus far, both times going back and forth, so 4 trips, is that half the flights have been American and half of them British Airways during one trip. So it's like you can book with either or, and they'll pretty much be the same prices. I'm gonna pay back Hummingbird, and then I'll eventually, no priority whatsoever, to pay back Kitty. She's not asking me to pay her back in the first place. So what I'm paying back Kitty is basically just for grocery bills and stuff, or grocery payments and stuff. She never asked me to really do that. In fact, that's why I got food stamps, was so that I could help pitch in. But I told her I would eventually help pay back that stuff for the times that I was there. And instead of making it a three-way split, I decided I would do it as if it was a 2-way split, because I know Hummingbird can't afford. Because she's not well. She's probably got MS and can't work. And I get that. That is 100% valid. I'm hungry. Something sad. I burnt my dessert, my cookies, and it's really hard to tell because they don't go gold. Like golden around the edges when they're done. You just kind of gotta figure it out. Stick to the time, I guess, that they gave you. What was one of the other things? What are we going to do on Sundays? That's what it was. I should think about what was my idea to Sundays to replace the freak show. Hectic Sunday. Was I thinking just filler? What was I thinking? Well, how about that? You guys tell me what would be a good idea to do Sundays. Well, I think one of it was just like, maybe it is filler. Do cooking or do crafts or whatever I feel works. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you will have a gay day. There we go. There we have it. My little ADHD Cheeto. I might make her a accompanying little, like, axe or something. Focus on. Thank you. Gave her, like, a pattern for her shirt. Instead of, like, having to go make stripes. And then, we might have snuck in the pansexual flag here and the demigirl flag. It's not the right pattern because it's supposed to be, like, kind of like trans flag where 2, 2, 1. But, you know, it's the same colors. And I ended up thinking it was cute to give the pattern for the socks, too. I don't have any tea in here, but I do have milk.
Well, they're glad that you stayed, yet you wasted yet another day. Their videos are a bore, but they've got lots more in store. It's Deranged, Royal Fae. Yeah.